Ever notice how some people can say no without flinching, while you'd apologize if someone stepped on your foot? Yeah, you. The one who nods, smiles, and agrees to help a neighbor move their entire living room, even though your own couch is calling your name. Here's the kicker, it's not laziness or a weak spine. Nope. There's a sneaky little culprit behind it, and spoiler alert, it probably started at home, with the people who gave you life, aka your parents. Buckle up, because today we're uncovering exactly how they turned you into a certified people pleaser. Okay, let's get real. If you're watching this, chances are you've caught yourself in these situations more times than you'd like to admit. You hate saying no, so you end up agreeing to things you don't actually want to do. And then spend the next 48 hours silently regretting it. You apologize, constantly. For literally everything. Even breathing too loudly in a coffee shop. You go out of your way to make everyone happy, while secretly wondering, wait, when is it my turn? Sound familiar? Yup, that's the classic people-pleaser territory. You're smart, talented, capable of amazing things, but somehow your life feels like a never-ending episode of Yes, Master. And here's the thing, you didn't choose this programming. Somewhere along the way, your brain learned that making other people happy equals safety, love, and approval. One frown from a parent? Trauma. One disappointed look from a teacher? Panic. Over time, your mind got the memo, keep everyone happy, or face emotional chaos. Now, as an adult, the stakes are bigger, friends, partners, coworkers, social media, but the mechanism is the same. That automatic yes reflex kicks in, guilt spikes, and suddenly you're volunteering for things you don't want, apologizing for things you didn't do, and secretly wishing you could just disappear. The good news? You're not broken. You're not weak. You're not a pushover by nature. You've just been conditioned to prioritize others over yourself. And the even better news? Once you understand how this happened, you can start rewiring your brain. You can finally say yes when you want to, no when you need to, and live life without constantly fearing judgment or rejection. Alright, let's talk about the first mistake almost every people pleaser makes when they realize, okay, maybe I need to stop bending over backward for everyone. And that mistake is the classic, well-meaning but totally ineffective advice, just say no. Yeah, thanks, Karen from LinkedIn. Super helpful. Except here's what actually happens when you try it. You tell your coworker you can't stay late to help with a report, and your brain immediately flashes images of HR writing up a lack of team spirit report. You decline your friend's 9 p.m. favor request, and suddenly you're imagining them plotting your social exile like a reality TV villain. You say no to your cousin's request to babysit 3 sugar-high toddlers, and your inner voice whispers, you monster. How could you? And then you go, okay, maybe I'm selfish. Maybe I'm broken. But here's the truth, you're not broken. Your brain is literally doing exactly what it learned to do as a kid, avoid conflict, criticism, and rejection at all costs. Saying no triggers years of conditioning, and your pleasing reflex kicks in like an emotional autopilot. Here's the irony, trying to flip a switch and stop people pleasing overnight is like trying to teach a cat to fetch your slippers. Cute idea, not realistic. Your brain has been reinforced for years to think that saying no equals disaster. One false move, and suddenly you're imagining everyone disowning you, shunning you, or at minimum, thinking you're selfish. So when most advice says, just say no. Set boundaries, it fails because it skips a crucial step, retraining your brain. You can't just override decades of survival programming with sheer willpower. That's why people pleasers usually go through a cycle of try, fail, feel guilty, apologize, repeat. The takeaway? The just say no approach alone is like putting a band-aid on a leaky dam. Cute idea. Temporary relief. But the water, aka your people-pleasing reflex, is still flooding your life. And the good news? There's a better, smarter way to approach it, one that doesn't involve guilt, panic, or imagining your friends forming a formal complaint against you. So, why do we people please in the first place? It's not just about being nice or trying to look good. Deep down, it's about emotional survival. Think back to childhood. Saying yes, complying, and keeping the peace often meant love, approval, or at least avoiding a parental frown. One disappointed look, one raised eyebrow, and your brain learned, okay, safety depends on pleasing others. Fast forward to adulthood, and that same mechanism is still running, but now it's triggered by coworkers, friends, partners, or even strangers online. You're chasing approval, avoiding rejection, and secretly hoping someone will pat you on the back and say, "Good job, you're lovable." Here's the key insight: the goal isn't to be selfish or ignore others. The goal is to reclaim freedom, the freedom to say yes when you truly want to, no when you need to, and finally put yourself somewhere on the priority list without guilt eating you alive. Alright, let's get to the heart of this thing. Here's the core truth: people-pleasing isn't a personality flaw, it's a learned survival strategy. Once you get this, everything starts to make sense. Think of your brain like a little toddler in a panic room. Every time someone frowns, criticizes, or asks for a favor, that toddler runs straight to the safe corner by saying yes, agreeing, apologizing, and bending over backward. And here's the kicker: that toddler grew up, but never got the memo that it's okay to leave the corner. Step 1. Understanding the origin. Most parents aren't deliberately trying to create mini doormats, well, most of the time. Often, they're just reinforcing behaviors that made life easier for them, or safer for you. Smile and say thank you, so family dinners stay peaceful. Be polite and help your sister, so fights don't break out. Don't argue with adults, so you don't get a timeout. Over time, your brain learns a simple equation: pleasing others equals safety, love, and survival. That's not a moral failing, it's pure, classic conditioning. Step 2. Identify the triggers. People pleasers have invisible tripwires everywhere. You know them. Requests from friends or family. Tripwire. Criticism at work. Tripwire. Even a neutral stare from a stranger. Tripwire. When one of these triggers is pulled, your brain goes into autopilot: yes, yes, yes. Saying no feels like stepping on a live wire. And that's why the usual advice, just say no, fails. It doesn't address the toddler in the panic room. Step 3. Rewire the reward system. Here's the fun part. You're basically training your brain like a puppy. When you start setting boundaries and survive emotionally, your brain learns, oh, saying no isn't dangerous. Try this: next time someone asks a favor, pause. Take a breath. Say, "I'll check and get back to you." You're creating a tiny delay, enough for your rational, adult brain to step in. And here's the kicker: reward yourself for every successful boundary. Mental high five, fist pump, mini happy dance, whatever works. Repetition is key. Step 4. Embrace the guilt, temporarily. Yes, guilt will show up. It's the ghost of your childhood conditioning. But here's the truth: guilt is like a smoke alarm. It's loud, annoying, and maybe unnecessary, but it doesn't mean you're wrong. Yes, I feel guilty for saying no, but I'm also okay. Yes, I'm uncomfortable, but my choice is valid. Eventually, your toddler brain learns, saying no doesn't mean disaster. Step 5. Start with micro-boundaries. You don't need to become some assertiveness guru overnight. Start small. Decline a text invite you don't want to attend. Speak your preference in a restaurant instead of defaulting to someone else's choice. Ask someone to call you at a specific time rather than whenever they feel like it. Each small no rewires your brain: survival plus approval is not equal to always saying yes. Step 6. Redefine approval. Here's the kicker: your parents didn't prepare you for adult approval. Adult life isn't about obeying frowns, it's about mutual respect. Not everyone will like you, and that's fine. Some people are actually boring anyway. You get to define your own approval system. Did you handle your boundaries well? Celebrate that. Did you prioritize yourself without hurting anyone? Celebrate that too. Step 7. humor as armor. Seriously. Laugh at yourself when you catch your people-pleasing reflex. Oh look, I just apologized to my cat for waking him up. Classic me. Humor keeps your brain from turning every minor boundary into a life-or-death crisis. It's like a shield that blocks guilt spikes. Step 8. Mental rehearsal. Visualization is powerful. Imagine yourself saying no confidently. Picture the other person's reaction, and imagine your calm, confident response. Your brain practices without real-world consequences. For example, your coworker asks for help at the last minute. In your mind, you pause. You breathe. You calmly say, "I can't tonight, but I can help tomorrow." Visualize yourself walking away without guilt, panic, or spiraling apologies. Do this mentally, and your toddler brain starts trusting the adult brain. Step 9. Long-term perspective. People-pleasing isn't a quick fix, it's a skill. You're retraining decades of automatic behavior. The toddler brain will resist. Guilt will spike. Old patterns will tempt you. But that's expected. Every time you practice, pause before saying yes. Notice the guilt. Reframe it. Reward yourself. You're slowly teaching your brain a new equation: safety plus respect plus approval equals sometimes saying no. And once you truly internalize this, you'll notice something amazing. Less stress. Fewer regrets. More time and energy for things you actually want. And a growing sense of freedom that people-pleasing never gave you. Picture this: it's a Tuesday evening, you're lounging on the couch in your PJs, binge-watching the latest series, and your phone buzzes. It's your best friend, Alex. "Alex, hey! Can you come over and help me move 50 boxes? I'll bribe you with pizza." Old you? Instant panic. You're imagining yourself lifting heavy boxes, strained muscles, sticky pizza grease on your hands, but more importantly, you're imagining Alex's disappointed face if you say no. So, without thinking, you, old reflex, "Sure. I'll be there in 10 minutes. Cue 90 minutes of frantic packing, awkward small talk with the neighbor's cat, and eventually crawling home, exhausted, muttering, "Why do I do this to myself?" New you? Pauses. Breathes. Mentally calls your inner toddler, "Timmy, we're safe. You don't have to panic." You, new strategy: "Hey Alex, I can't tonight. My couch and I have a prior commitment. But I can come help Saturday." Cue mini guilt spike. Your toddler brain screams, "The friendship. The pizza. The boxes." But Alex responds, calmly, "Alex, cool, Saturday works." And just like that, the world didn't end. The friendship survived. You didn't ruin your life. You just said no and lived. Now, you sit back on your couch, marveling at the glory of doing nothing. The inner toddler nods approvingly, muttering, "Okay, maybe saying no isn't that scary." That's the beauty of micro-boundaries. Little wins like this slowly retrain your brain. The panic fades, the guilt shrinks, and eventually, saying no becomes just another normal, non-catastrophic choice. It's proof, people-pleasing doesn't define you. Your adult brain can step in, take control, and show that yes, you can exist, be loved, and occasionally do absolutely nothing, without apologizing or collapsing emotionally. Alright, let's make this real. You've learned why people-pleasing happens and how your brain got stuck in panic mode. Now it's time for some actionable steps you can start using today to reclaim your freedom. 1. Identify your triggers. Notice who or what makes you instantly say yes. Is it a parent, a friend, a coworker, or maybe just a certain type of request? Awareness is the first step. 2. Pause before responding. When someone asks for a favor, take a breath. Count to 3. Even a tiny pause gives your rational brain a chance to weigh in instead of letting your people-pleaser autopilot kick in. 3. Start small. Don't dive straight into big, dramatic no's. Decline minor favors or set tiny boundaries first, like choosing the restaurant, skipping a low-stakes outing, or postponing a casual request. Small wins train your brain that saying no is safe. 4. Reframe guilt. Expect guilt to pop up. It's the leftover signal from your childhood programming. Notice it, name it, and move on. Ah, guilt. I see you. But I'm making a healthy choice, and that's okay. 5. Visualize success. Mentally rehearse saying no calmly and confidently. Imagine the other person's reaction and your composed response. This primes your brain to act confidently in real-life scenarios. 6. Reward yourself. Every time you set a boundary, even a small one, give yourself a mental high five. Celebrate wins. Your brain loves rewards, and this helps reinforce the new behavior. Follow these steps consistently, and over time, your inner toddler starts trusting your adult self. You'll find it easier to say no, easier to set boundaries, and easier to finally put yourself on the priority list, without panic, guilt, or drama. Here's a fun brain hack I call the inner toddler check-in. It's simple, memorable, and a little silly, which makes it stick. Whenever you feel the urge to people please, imagine your inner toddler standing behind you. Give them a name, maybe Timmy or Lil Me. Visualize them in full panic mode, flailing arms and all. Step 1. Ask your toddler, do you want to say yes because it's safe, or because it's what I actually want? Step 2. Pause. Take a breath. Listen to your adult self. Step 3. Make the choice consciously. Say yes if you want, say no if you need. This little visualization helps you separate automatic, childhood-driven reactions from your adult decision-making. It's like having a mini referee in your head, except cuter and way less boring. Bonus, it's funny. Laughing at your inner toddler immediately reduces guilt and stress spikes. The more you practice this, the more your brain learns, saying no doesn't mean disaster, and putting yourself first is safe. Try it next time someone asks for a favor, or your people-pleasing reflex kicks in. Soon, your toddler brain starts trusting the adult brain, and you get to live life on your terms. So, let's wrap this up. People-pleasing isn't a flaw, it's a survival strategy your brain learned long ago. It helped you stay safe, loved, and accepted as a kid. But as an adult, it's optional. You get to choose when to say yes, when to say no, and when to put yourself first, without guilt eating you alive. Start small, pause before responding, visualize success, laugh at your inner toddler, and celebrate every tiny win. Each step rewires your brain, shrinks guilt, and slowly teaches your inner toddler that life doesn't fall apart when you set boundaries. If you found this video helpful, hit subscribe for more brain hacks, life tips, and a few laughs along the way. And next time someone asks for a favor, maybe, just maybe, you can say no and still survive. You've got this.